Good morning, Chicago and the rest of the world. Welcome to the Money, Sex, Gen X podcast. You want some game? Life game. This is season 5, episode number 2. We got an important topic today. Should you be celibate? I am your host with the most, Mr. Eric McLeod, a.k.a. Money. Scotty Pippen, the podcast pimping. Sometimes slipping, but never tripping. I am joined by my co-host, the Titan of Team Tech, music mogul in the making, the Jigger. Stock figures, my co-host, my co-CEO, my co-creator. Give it up for Big Stu.
What's happening?
What's going on this morning?
Man, look, I'm still reeling off the good time I had yesterday.
Beautiful
hosting
time.
A couple of the guys at the house, including you.
That was nice.
So I'm still off of that, man. I had a good time yesterday, man.
Yeah.
How are you this morning?
I'm doing good. Morning started off a little rocky, but I'm gonna smooth it out. I had a great time yesterday. Thank you for the invite. Met some great people and made some future connections. So that's always good.
It's very intentional, brother. It's very intentional.
Absolutely. So we have a beautiful queen that's joining us this morning. We're going to introduce you all to her in 1 second. But before we do that, Big Stu, do we want to tell the people about the MSG merch?
Yeah, absolutely. We want to tell them about our merch. We want to have you all go and look at some of the items that we have in our store, right? New merch is dropping soon. I dropped the ball. I've been a little bit behind on that new merch.
Okay.
But hey, man, you're only selfish to people who can't get their way with you. You know, we got the mugs, we got the throw blankets, we got short sleeves, ease into eating better.
My favorite
we got some long sleeves, we got some lady cut tees, women's only. We got some champion jonts. You know, we got face masks because you should still mask up out there, particularly if you're in large crowds and haven't been vaxxed. Book bags, backpacks, leggings. Man, we got a whole underwear for the fellas, beach towels, socks. I'm wearing my MSG socks today, by the way.
All right.
Lots of stuff. I have these. I have those right there.
My lady had on that joint this weekend, the pink hoodie. So that was nice.
The pink hoodie? Your lady got the pink hoodie?
Yeah, she was rocking
it. She cold with it. Nice. She cold. Yeah, my lady actually was wearing the ease into eating better tee this weekend. So that was
all right. Okay, that's the one I need. That's the one that's on my list.
Yeah, we got the zip hoodies because it's sweater weather right now. So get the hoodie gang, get your hoodie gang. A lot of merch. Get over there, go get your merch. Get your holiday shopping on. So that's what's happening over there.
Yeah. This is the new drip. This is the MSG merch. We definitely in the merch game. This isn't about collecting a coin. It's just about showing and proving the movement. We would love to see you beautiful people in our merch. And when we say our, we're talking about all of us as Gen Xers and those who support the movement. So shop moneysexgenx.com. We always want to encourage everybody out there. We know you're watching the show. Please like, comment, share, drop life game in the comments so we know you're out there watching. We know sometimes you don't feel comfortable typing in the comments your personal thoughts, which is cool. But hit us with the life game hashtag just so we know you're out there.
Hey, man, let me give a special shout out, man. It is Indigenous Peoples Day.
Indigenous People Day. Yeah, I saw that.
I've been waiting on this for a long time, man. Jay-Z, the only Christopher we acknowledge is Wallace. It is Indigenous Peoples Day today.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm excited to be here. Second year in a row that we've, last year people didn't catch on it. It's not that other person's day. It's Indigenous Peoples Day today. So shout out to all the indigenous people from the Haitian community, the Native American community, the Black French community, the Jean-Baptiste Pont du Sable community, all of that, all the indigenous people of America. Shout out to all of y'all, all of us.
No doubt.
So that's what's up.
I found out an interesting fact real quick. Well, I don't know if it's a fact, but an interesting little tidbit. One of my favorite dance hall artists, Super Cat, I think he's coming back out. Peace to him. But I read an article saying that he was an Apache Indian.
Wow, indigenous people.
So I didn't know that. So I might check a little more into that. But okay, so let's get into our topic. We got a beautiful guest. If you could bring her on, Stu.
Absolutely.
I'm going to try to do her background some justice. Good morning, Lady Hope.
Good morning, Kings.
How you doing this morning?
I'm awesome, just like you all.
All right, I appreciate that. I'm going to try to do your intro some justice, and then I want you to kind of give it the real spin. So I'm going to give you the written version. So Lady Hope, from what I know, is a luxury pedicure provider. And correct me if I'm wrong, Queen. Yes. 29 years worth of experience. She's the creator of Opulence custom blended perfume oils.
Yes.
I'd like to know a little bit more about that. Body butters and sugar scrubs.
Yes.
A willing vessel when God uses her.
Yes.
And she's been practicing, and this ties into our topic. She's been practicing abstinence for 14 years.
Years.
We're going to get into abstinence versus celibacy because I think I'm misinformed. So I'm going to be looking to you, Lady Hope, to get me clear on these definitions. And she has been patiently waiting on God to deliver her the right person.
Okay.
Now, is this the right person or the right brother?
It is, if you want to be technical, it is the man that God created for me before the foundation of the earth, who was custom made just for me.
I love it. Okay. All right. So that's so please give it up for Lady Hope. She's the founder and CEO of Palace.
Thank you.
That's the little corporate joint. So I want you to kind of really let us know who you be.
Okay. Well, my name is Lady Hope. I am Lady Hope of Lady Hope Exclusives, and I offer high-end luxury pedicures. So you soak your feet in, give you an example. You soak your feet in milk, organic lemongrass, fresh cut lemons, fresh cut roses, 14 karat gold faux flakes, hot chocolate and marshmallows. I have the flower bomb pedicure. That's the #1 pedicure. Okay. It's just opulence. It's the other people offer pedicures, but it's more basic. It's in and out, quick, and we need luxury. Anytime you receive a service, it needs to be done with the spirit of excellence and passion. And so that's what I try to execute with my pedicures. And I do make my own custom blended perfumed oils, body butters, sugar scrubs. Opulent. They last 24 hours on the skin.
This is one of the, can't really see it, but this is one of the butters right here. I got I got the bougie red Egyptian musk body butter. Okay. Bro, I was gifted. So I've been following Lady Hope on social media for years and I don't think I've ever met her, although we have a kindred spirit about it. We have a connection. I don't know what that's about. But my lady gifted me for Father's Day a pedicure. I didn't know what I was walking into, man. I had no clue. But when I tell you I walked out on pillows.
Praise God.
I walked out on pillows, bro. And it lasted all of a month.
Nice.
Thank you.
Real talk.
Thank you.
Real talk. It was the gold flakes and the anyway. I've been I don't even know the right word. I'm speechless on how good these pedicures are, but I've been a customer ever since, man.
Well, I want to be opulent too, so I'm gonna have to go and get some more information. I think my lady wants to be opulent. That bougie red butter might be fitting for her. I don't know.
All right now.
Yeah.
It's definitely a treat for your feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've used some scrubs for my feet in the past, so I'm really curious about that one. So it's
I don't think you've had a
Is it
I don't think,
removing the dead skin as you're rubbing it on your feet? Is that how it
bro.
works?
She got something, bro. I'm telling you, she got something
it's a
extra
whole
for you, man.
experience.
Yeah, she.
Okay.
You've never had anything like this before. I'm
Okay.
absolutely sure of it. And
Now,
E,
the
you know, I
website,
normally bring it to you, right?
no doubt. Before we forget, we got to let the people know where to go to get your products. I want to do that right up front.
What's the website?
The website is www.ladyhope.glossgenius.com.
Okay. Get over there and get some opulence in your life.
Everyone needs opulence.
Everyone needs opulence. Lady
Hope.glossgenius.com.
Okay. All right.
That's
an opulent web address. I like that. Gloss.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's dope. That's dope. Okay. All right. So, Lady Hope, we're really looking for you today to educate us on this topic. Now, we have another queen that we work with.
Okay.
She has a company called Olivine Spencer Consulting. She does our market research.
Okay.
We want you to challenge us on this research. Nobody's going to get offended, but I'm going to read to you what she gave us. And I think we're going to probably disagree on these terms. So we need you to get us straight. So possibly. Okay. So many people use celibacy and abstinence interchangeably. I've been guilty of this myself. I thought I was being celibate, but I think it was abstinence. We'll find out. Her definition was that abstinence usually refers to the decision not to have sex, penetrative sex, typically limited to a specific period of time, such as until marriage. So no penetration, specific period of time, waiting for marriage. Okay, so that's her definition of abstinence. Celibacy, she's saying, is a vow to remain abstinent over an extended period of time. Sometimes this might mean people's entire life.
Yes, yes.
Are those correct?
Yes, that's what the nuns practice.
Okay.
They practice celibacy. Their ultimate goal is to never engage in sexual relations.
Okay. All
never.
Right. So we're on track.
Abstinence means you just waiting on your husband.
Now let me ask you this. Never engaging, you would be a virgin. But so is it celibacy after you become a celibate after having sex? Or like you're a virgin, you never had sex.
Right.
Do you have sex and then to say, oh, I'm not doing it anymore, I'm celibate?
It can go that way. It can go that way. It can go that way. You can have had sex before and then made up your mind. It's just like young women that go into the priesthood. You know, they may have had sexual relations before. Usually nuns are pretty young though. So it might have been one guy, two guys, and then they said, you know what, I want to consecrate my life unto the Lord. And then they just make up their mind to that's the lifestyle that they want to live.
Okay. All right. So our research is on point.
Yes.
Research is on point, but should we rechange this title, E? So should we fix it, or what are we doing here?
I think it's important to leave it the way that it is, simply because it opens the door for the entire conversation.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
They're going to come in the door and be thinking we're talking about one part of it, but then we get into the whole conversation. So I think we're good, Stu.
We're going to actually dig in. Hope out in full disclosure. This conversation came up around a group of men last night or yesterday.
Okay.
Like this conversation and your position in particular came under fire, under scrutiny.
Okay.
Eric, you remember that part of the conversation in the man cave last night?
Yeah, a little bit. Yes,
yeah. So we had a guy.
What was the part?
We're gonna dig. You know, it's like if she waiting 30, she gonna be waiting forever.
Oh, yeah.
It was like it's a wrap. She did hang it up. What's she doing? I wasn't defending. I was just listening, and we was like, this gonna be a great conversation. So we're gonna dig in a little bit. Hope.
Okay.
We're gonna challenge some things today.
Okay.
Yeah, brothers got a little emotional about that.
Did they?
Yeah. It was got a little heat going.
Heat.
So that was good. That was good. And I was wondering why. It'd be nice to have one of them on and be like, well, why was that so emotional? You know, in that moment. But
that's a good question. I would really like to know. I wish I could have been there.
Yeah, that would have been
Because
nice.
that's a very good question. Why were they so emotional? The Bible says, "He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord." So, I mean, today's society is really big on casual sex. Let's just go right into it. It's a big thing. Everybody's doing it. Um, casual. When I looked up the word, means relaxed and unconcerned. That's not the way we're supposed to view sharing something so beautiful and so sacred with someone else as being unconcerned and relaxed. And I think that we need to understand that the world pretty much talks about STDs and teenage pregnancy and unwanted babies and all this, that, and the other, but it's a lot of stuff that we don't talk about, which is soul ties, which is we have great chemistry sexually, but what are we going to talk about the other 23 hours out of the day that we don't have any other connection? And a lot of times people have great sex with people and they stay in relationships that they should have never have given that much energy to, because now you're dealing with past trauma. She has past trauma, or women are emotional, men are mental. So when women engage in sex, we're thinking and feeling something that may not be what's on the brother's mind. It just opens up a lot, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Sex isn't really something that's supposed to be taken lightly, because it does it, and I think that's the number one thing. Most people have had great sexual experiences, and when you look back, you're like, why did I even? She was toxic. He was toxic. Like, what was I doing? Why did I stay so long? And it's the chemistry. So at first I didn't think like this. Let me say that. I didn't think like this. I was like everybody else. I had played different roles: girlfriend, kid's mother, wifey, as
Come
they
on,
like to
keep coming,
say.
keep coming, keep coming. Because come
You know
on,
what I
bring
mean?
out some more. What else? What other
We
roles did you
broke
play?
up, so now I'm the side girlfriend. I
Okay,
played
bring it, bring
positions,
it.
but I never did it God's way. I said, let me try this a different way. Let me try God's way, because my way not working. So out of all that I had experienced in relationships, great sex, I'd never been a wife. And then that's when I took a step back and realized my sex isn't casual, because it's not just the sex that you're getting or that I'm giving. I'm opening up myself to emotionally, my soul space, and so we only talk about people that, when older people say, when you have sex, you having sex with everybody they had sex with. But also at the same time, people carry energy. You have sex with somebody and it's good or whatever, and then you get up and they mad, now you mad. Energy is transferable. So I've heard people ask me, they say, well, especially men, well, how you, and women, you really not gonna have sex till you get married, to your honeymoon. Like, I gotta test drive the car, baby. I'm not gonna be able to do it. And people, that's the number one thing people say.
I want to
And as
talk
I
about that too.
and I was talking to King, and I was telling him when he was getting his pedicure, I said, people always say that to me, and I give the analogy.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
have a
this was
truck
great.
now. And when I went car shopping, I went to a couple of different lots. And so I had jumped in one car, and it looked good on me. It felt good, bucket seats low to the ground. It was nice. Had the new car smell and everything. And I drove it around, and it was nice, real nice. I drove it around, and then I was like, nah, that's not it. I don't want this. That's not it. So I went. So this salesman said, "Well, I got something else I could put you in." I said, "Okay." I drove it. It was better, bigger, better, awesome. 0 to 100 real quick. It was nice, looked good, felt good. And I drove that around. I was like, "No, that's not it either."
Wow.
So then I said, "Well, you know what? I'm gonna wait. Not in a rush. I'm gonna wait." So 2 days later, as I was explaining to King, I went and saw my truck that I'm in now. So the salesman said, "You want to take a for a spin?" I said, "No." He said, I said, "I don't have to." I said, I know that's the truck that I want. Now the other cars and the other truck had everything that I wanted, right? It had the bells and whistles, but the truck had everything that I needed. I have 7 grandchildren. So I needed the 3rd row seat. It had rear view cam, remote starter, heated seat, heated steering wheel. It had everything. It had more to offer me than what I needed. So because of the weight, I not only received what I needed, also got some perks of what I wanted. And so when people say, do you have to test drive it? No, because God says if you all being parents would give your children, what is the scripture, Lord? Give your children gifts, what I reward you with a snake, something like that. But basically what he's saying is, I'm gonna paraphrase it. If I'm trying to execute something that the majority of the people are not even trying to be on thinking like this, would God really reward me with a man on my wedding night that we're not sexually compatible? Knowing that if I cheat or he cheat, that's adultery. That's a whole nother segment. God doesn't play games like that, and he honors us when we're trying to live a lifestyle that he told us to do. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't do that. He doesn't do that.
Okay.
And so yes, it's a faith walk. It's a faith walk.
It's a faith walk. Absolutely. I agree with that. That's an interesting point of view. I'm gonna play devil's advocate on that in a minute.
Go ahead. I'm ready.
I want to push it. But I want to get through the rest of because I want to get your thoughts on the rest of we call these actual factuals. Okay. So before we get into before we get into our opinions or the guest experiences, we like to try to bring what people may consider to be facts. So we got the abstinence, the celibacy. Now here's one I wonder what you all would think. It says African Americans are least likely to be celibate, while survey respondents in other groups, so I guess Asians and all those other people, it said that Asians are the most likely to be celibate. So supposedly the African American, and I wonder if this does include all Black people or just Black people in this country, but supposedly we're the least likely to be celibate.
Well, it's saying African American, so that's this country.
Yeah, but sometimes people use that loosely. You know what I mean? Like if somebody was doing a survey and they said, "Are you African American?" They didn't have any other choices, and you know you're not white or Latino, you might hit that. You know what I mean? So I don't. Maybe. Okay. And then the reasons for abstinence, and I know everybody would have their reason. And this specifically said abstinence, not celibacy.
Okay.
It said preventing pregnancies and disease, waiting for a certain level of romantic commitment, focusing on school or your career, lower stress, and religious reasons. Religious reasons. So I want to get you all's thoughts on that. First, do we believe that African Americans, the Black people in this country, are the least likely to be celibate?
Yeah, I believe it. That's easy. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Now, why is that? Why is that? Why are we more sexual than other people, or what's the deal with that?
I think it's just, you want to answer? You want to go?
Go ahead, Queen. No. I talk all the time on here. This is about the guests right now.
I just think that our mindset is more lax on it because we think that sex is casual. We only look at the physical aspect of it, and we really don't take time to understand that it is more spiritual than it is physical. Because when you get up from the act, you don't really understand what all you've gotten up with. And I'm not talking about an STD. You know, we're talking about soul ties and all of that type of things. And you know how you be with somebody for about 5 years and you all have broke up and she's moved on and you've moved on, but it's still something, it's that residue from that person is still in your psyche. It's like you still can't shake her, and you moved on and you can't explain it, and you all don't even talk anymore. All that is part. Yeah.
It's a real
you gotta dig it. You gotta dig into. Go ahead.
Our mindset needs to change regarding sex as being casual. You said the Chinese. What group of people did you say were?
Yeah, it says that Asian Americans. So I guess this is slanted towards people in this country, but it said Asian Americans are the most likely to be celibate.
Well, abstinent.
I'm sorry. See, there we go. I'm mixing up the words. But to be abstinence. So to abstain from sex for a shorter period of time, no penetration.
Okay.
Now, I always get offended whenever people say anything bad about Black people. I mean, I'm definitely able to see both sides, but whenever it's like Black people are the most likely to do something negative, I do not believe that other groups don't have soul ties or that we're the only group that takes sex casually. I have acquaintances that are Caucasian and Hispanic, and I know they have a lot of casual sex. So I just don't believe we're the only group that's in the hit it and quit it, or I just got to pick somebody up at the bar. I know we're not the only group that does that, and that's the only issue I have with this research.
I got you. I understand.
Why we always got to be the ones that's the worst in every category? Like I have
Lord have mercy. I'm not gonna say we the worst in every category. We're not. Okay. That's not true. Okay. That's not true.
Right. I think we're the best more times than not. But even in this situation, I think the millennials have way less sex, Black millennials, than we did as Gen Xers or baby boomers.
So, you believe that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think they have way less sex. Yeah. From my discussions with them, they're more worried about COVID in some cases. They want a commitment more so than we did when we were younger. I believe that from the people I've spoken to. Yeah.
That's interesting because my young clients, their role models are Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi B. But okay.
Lady Hope.
What did Cardi say? She said, I got a ring. I don't cook. I don't clean.
Yeah.
But are they actually living that? I know that's her lyrics.
No. I believe her. I believe she is, right? Yeah, that's Cardi B. Of course.
I know Cardi now. Cardi, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. She got a ring. She don't cook. She don't clean. Yeah, that's real. But I got a question. I have a question for Lady Hope. Okay. Well, not really a question, but I'm asking you to dig into a little bit more about the soul ties. I just learned about soul ties about 5 years ago. I had never heard that before. And I think there are a lot of people that don't fully. Can you dig into soul ties? And more importantly, I don't know if you're able to, but can you talk about breaking soul ties?
Ooh, Jesus. The answer for that is God. That it's something in the Bible where Jesus' disciples tried to deliver a man and they were very unsuccessful. And they went back to the Lord and they said, why we couldn't cast the demons out of the person like you do? Like we follow you, we watch you, we study you, why we couldn't do it? We walk in faith enough to be able to do that. And Jesus said, these kind only go out by prayer and fasting. Soul ties. Sex is such a casual thing, like I said, and it was not created by God to be a casual thing. So when you have sex with your wife or your husband, you all become one. And so when you have sex outside of marriage, you don't have a soul. First of all, let me say this. You don't have a soul tie with each and every person that you have sex with. Let me say that first.
Okay.
But it's just that one person. Maybe it could be more than one. But normally it's just that one person that gets into your soulish realm. Like I was saying earlier, how it's just something, the residue, you can't shake them. And so it becomes, you're tied. You're tied. The souls are tied. You're tied to this person. Even though you broke up, some people have soul ties. The person that can be then died. It's real. It's real. It's that residue. They still in your soul area. They're in your. It's like, thank you, Holy Spirit. It's an imprint. It's a spiritual imprint of a person that's on you, and it takes God. I had one. I had a soul tie with my ex-fiance. I had a soul tie, and we had been broke up for 9 years. And it was still, the residue was there. Still dreaming about the person. He had moved on. It's real. And we don't talk about that. Unless you are a believer in Christ. I can't just say spiritual because everything spiritual doesn't mean the Lord. unless you are a follower of Christ, you don't really think about it like that, because the flesh won't. We want what we want. We want it. We want it when we want it, how we want it, who we want it from, and so we can't live our lives totally governed by our flesh and our desires, And so when we do, it serves us consequences, And a lot of those consequences are, unfortunately, soul ties, which to me, and the soul tie unchecked is equal to a STD. One you can't get rid of if you think.
Boy.
I mean, I'm comparing spiritual and natural.
Come on now, bring it. Come on. That's why I wanted her on
I'm
the
just
show.
saying.
I like that. Sound like a T-shirt. A soul tie unchecked equals an STD.
Wow.
That's the Lord
deep.
right there. He just dropped that one.
I gotta process that. Soul tie unchecked.
Because the soul ties thing, when I heard about it, when I learned about it, it knocked me over my head. Right.
Me too.
It knocked me over my head. I was just like, wow, I had never heard of that 5 years ago.
Real.
Grown
it's a real thing.
Well into my 40s. I had never heard of this thing before.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand it to be real. So can you say it's only God to break it? So how do you there was a period after my I've been married, I'm divorced. Initially after my separation, I practiced abstinence. I said I can't, because I was driven by sex. However I could get it in. So I had to take a break.
Okay.
I had to take a break. But when you talk about breaking the soul ties, can you any more specifics about that other than just, you said it's just God? So is it you pray? Do you need to abstain? Is there some other process that you could do?
I mean, it's not I can't really think of a 12 steps to deliverance of a soul tie. I mean, it would have to be, everyone's relationship with the Lord is different. So he may have you fast for 3 days. He may have somebody else fast for 21 days. He may, you may cry out to the Lord and renounce and denounce and and just say, I come out of agreement with this person. It may be as simple as repenting and not doing it. It's not a list, something I can check off to say these are the 12 steps to being delivered from a soul tie. That would have to really be you and the Lord. But I know that I believe it will not be done without you and the Lord, because you all are tied, you all are intertwined, and that is something that only the Holy Spirit can break.
Yeah, definitely. I want to take a chance to check in here. So you are rocking with the Money, Sex, Gen X podcast. This is season number 5, episode number 2. Should you be celibate? And I guess a subtitle could be, should you be abstinent? We are here with the beautiful Lady Hope, the homie Big Stu. We're trying to get a little bit deeper into this conversation. So we talked about a few things. We've defined what we're talking about. Lady Hope has shared some of her experiences. She brought up something very, very important, which is soul ties. And it could explain for a lot of people, especially maybe younger people, why you're feeling a way about a person that you're not even with anymore. And I have gone through that, and I understand how heavy that is. It's like you're trying to perform with your life, but you just got this weight on your back, and you just keep thinking about this person over and over and over. So it's hard to move on. And so this ties into the larger conversation, because if you can't get rid of this person in your mind, and maybe they're still trying to actively have sex with you, but you're trying to not do anything, it makes it more difficult.
It does. It does. Oh, it does.
So let's get a little bit deeper into this. Okay, we talked about, so Stu just shared that he had a period of abstinence, right? Yeah. So how did that go, brother? I mean, and the obvious you don't have to get into. I know it was hard and all of that, but I mean,
it wasn't. It was a choice. It was my choice.
I want to get to your, like, how did things evolve in your mind? So you're saying it wasn't hard. What happened mentally?
I was having too much sex, and it wasn't fun. It wasn't cool anymore. It's embarrassing, right? It's almost embarrassing. And I I wasn't feeling it. And I was like, I got to do something different. I got to take a break.
Yes.
Like, I never imagined me being saying like, look, I need to. No, it was like, bad choices. It was for no reason. I felt like a piece of meat. You know what I mean? Like I was feeling like a piece of meat. You know, like no, like literally, like no. So I have a relationship with God. I've always had a relationship with God, and I continue to work on strengthening my relationship with God. And it was at a point, and then God spoke to me. It was real easy. It's like, man, I need to take a break. And I had a goal. You know, my goal was to like, until my divorce was final, was the first goal. But I wound up being abstinent for it was like 7 months. 7 months of abstinence.
That's a long time for a man.
And then yeah, it was, but I cleared my phone book. You know what I mean? Cleared out. Block people. Just had
the steps.
Had to block people. Stop looking at certain photos, like people that were showing them. And this is 5. But even today. Women that show too much cleavage in my pages, I block them. I had to just let certain things go and start just like I had to shift my focus. I have to shift my focus, and I had to shift my focus to me and being a better man, making better decisions, being more responsible, and not just going with what what everybody else is doing because you ain't married no more. You can do whatever you want. But I was still married. I was separated, but it was even worse. I was like, nah, I saw myself in the mirror and I didn't like what I saw. So I had to do something different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, man. I actually had a period of abstinence. It was a little over a year. I had just came out of a marriage and we were separated. And my whole thing was, I'm tired, man. I'm tired. You know how you be like, I'm dating the same person over and over, getting in the same relationships over and over. And I was just like, I just can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm on the phone whining to my dad, and he was like, Eric, you need to be by yourself.
Yeah.
And Stu, I told you about this. He said, Eric, you need to be by yourself for a year.
Wow.
I was like, by myself? What are you talking about? He was like, he used a vulgar way of saying this, but he was like, don't have sex for a year. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, he's like, you hurt, aren't you? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, Eric, just be by yourself for a year and you'll see why I said that. All right, so I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna try it. So first, Stu, I'm on what's the popular black dating sites like 10 years ago? It's like Black People Meet, Plenty of Fish, all this stuff. I'm still on there. I'm chatting, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and I'm like, yo, this, good and well that this woman that you're chatting with is the same as the person you just got out this relationship with. Why don't you just relax? Yeah. So I started thinking, okay, how am I going to do this? So my strategy, and I want to do this for the younger people because we got to tell them like a strategy. So Stu said he blocked people out of his phone. He stopped looking at certain pictures. What I did was I said, I'm going to go to work, come straight home. I'm going to go to the liquor store. And I don't advise the liquor store part, but it's just how I had to do it. Okay. Go to the liquor store, give me a Black and Mild, go back in the house, drink my drink, smoke the Black and Mild, and go to bed.
Go. Oh, wait. I like this. Right. I get the nuance of the Black and Mild and the liquor, but go to work, come home, come straight home, do whatever you're gonna do. Take your mind. So you occupy yourself, and go to bed.
Go to bed. Now, after about 4 or 5 months, I removed the liquor and the Black and Milds, and I started doing community work in Inglewood. And I dove into that with all my whole being. Everything. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still thinking about the person. Every thought I had, this person is like right here. But I'm fighting through it. Then females are popping up, trying to do this and that. I'm like, I can't do it. And so I would still go straight home after the community work. And then over time, Lady Hope, about 7 or 8 months in, I started to get this second wind. I just started to feel strong. You know what I mean? Stu? And
So
it
it
was like
became easier for you.
well, it wasn't necessarily easier, but I started feeling like my old self again. You know, like you have this self before you met this specific person that got lost.
Yes.
And I started to feel that. I'm like, man, I'm starting to feel like Eric again. So I'm like, okay, since I'm feeling good like this, I got to do the other 4 months. Got to do the other 4 months. Mike Tyler says, in that order, bro. No doubt. These are the steps that I took. So by the time it was over, Lady Hope, I was like back in king mode. Strong. My back was straight. I felt good. No drinking. I'm working out.
Yes.
I'm walking down the street, and I'm like, this is what's up. Now, the first woman that I started dating after doing this abstinence was just right.
She was what?
She was just like the woman I had broken up with. I said, dude,
that's the laws of attraction. That's what you was attracted. You got
a problem. So I had to go to therapy. I went to a little bit of therapy, so I would throw that in the mix. But I eventually, Lady Hope, I got it together.
That's it.
It worked out. So I thank my father. Thank you, Dad, for basically, he didn't even like suggest it. He said, you need to do it.
Wow.
And he's cursing at me, MFer and this, that, and I'm like, okay, all right.
He was effective in getting the message across.
He knew he had to talk to me like that. He had to come strong. So I did it, and it changed my life. So abstinence, I will agree, is a very strong thing. You're no less masculine. Right. I have younger dudes that I talk to. They be trying to act like, there's so many chicks coming at me. It's no way I can, like, dude, most men have women coming at. Don't try to use that, right? Don't use that.
And it's a level of self-control.
Yes.
It's a level of self-control.
Self-control. That was my takeaway.
Yes.
Self-control.
Yes.
Right.
And we as men act like we have no self-control sometimes when it comes to women. Literally, our tongues hang out of our mouths. We break our necks looking down the street, about to have a car. Like, lack of self-control. You need self-control.
And it ties too into our masculinity. Like we've been programmed, Lady Hope, to feel like we're supposed to be out here, having all these
knocking them down.
Women.
That's right.
And so that gets programmed into our psyche. So I just wanted to share that. So the audience, you all got 3 different perspectives on our road. We're not trying to act like we're holy and pious. We strive, but it wasn't easy. Everybody had their process. So ask yourself out there, what's your process going to be?
Yes.
What do you think might work for you? You definitely can do it, but how will you get it done? How will you get it done?
And let me also add this real quick, Ida. A thing that I heard you say that I didn't talk about, and I'm imagining that Lady Hope has experiencing, is that you started doing something that had some value. So you dug into community work. You started building organizations. Yeah. I started working on my business. Yeah. Lady Hope, you started pouring into maybe your, so you found something and redirected kind of that energy, so you're not so much thinking about sex or lack of sex or not having sex.
Or that other person.
Or that other person.
You know what I was thinking about when he was talking? You know how when especially women are so big with the detox. I need to do a detox to lose, to clean. It's a soul detox.
Okay.
It's a soul detox. And you said that you experienced, it's like I got my old self came back. You were walking in your power. You had your power back.
No doubt.
And you were killing the flesh. And so your spirit man was rising more. It's a beautiful thing. Is it easy? No. Is it doable? Yes. Is it rewarding in the end? Yes. If you wait till marriage or you don't wait till marriage, you still got something out of it.
Indeed. And it made me different because I feel like it was like working out. It was like, so I met the young lady after I was done. We were messing around. I realized she wasn't good either. I was quickly able to cut it. I just cut it. Like because I'm like, yo, he wasn't doing nothing for a year. You could just cut this off. And I cut it. We were cool, but I wouldn't touch it.
Now, maybe I'm hungry. Because I'm thinking about, how people, when they become vegan, when they first try it,
Yeah.
And then they stop eating meat, especially pork. I love pork, I'm sorry. And so when you go a long time, or not even a long time without eating pork, maybe I don't know how long it is exactly. But when you eat it, you get sick. I've heard people say they get sick. Like I just can't. My stomach, I just can't agree. It just doesn't agree. Or people that are lactose. You used to love milk, now you lactose intolerant. It's the same. Your spiritual appetite changes.
Yes, no doubt.
But what else I've noticed? I have another girlfriend that's practicing abstinence. She said before she did it, she said that she would notice, like you said, that she would attract the same spirit in a man in different men. Yeah. But you don't recognize that until you remove yourself from for a season, or a specific time, and you like, oh my God, everybody that I dated was okay. It's same spirit, different men. Same as women, because most people have a type,
Yeah.
And so I have a client, he loves light skin, long hair, big booty, big booty Judy. He loved that type, but that type always seemed to carry a certain energy, a certain spirit, for him. That's just for him.
Let me ask a question. Money, I know you got some points to get to, and we are we're coming towards the end. But quickly, Lady Hope, can you talk to me about what was the trigger for you 13 years ago? Is it 13 or
13?
13 years ago. What was the trigger for you to make you say, you know what, I'm about to practice. I'm going to be abstinent.
Great question.
It was, I was still coming into knowing who I really was. And doing that, I had to look at the choices that I had been making in my life at that point. And so I didn't think about it as a soul detox then. I didn't think it would be this long now. Let me say that, truthfully. But, God has a funny way of getting your attention. And I was one of those women that I kept attracting different men, same spirit. So, some people call it, what do you call it, the law of attraction or something? That's the worldly way of saying it, I guess. It's the same spin. And so I said, you know what? I need to take a break. I need to take a step back and reevaluate myself. And so I said, like I said earlier, I've done it every other way the world says it needs to be done. And I'm still not married. I still haven't found that. I haven't been found by the one that God has for me. And so you can't play a game and think you're going to win it successfully when you're not playing it by the rules of the person that created the game.
Wow, that's good. Yep.
So when I thought about that, I'm like, okay, well, let me try God's way. Has it been easy? No. When I first started this journey, when I had long, luxurious hair, and I pulled it all out, waiting on the Lord. No, I'll just wait. But it's a self-awareness that I don't believe that you will have to this degree without even attempting it. Because when you kill your flesh on that level, like you said, it's something that you would have never even realized that needed to have been done had you not even attempted to try to do it. Like I said, if you don't do it, even after a breakup, you need to just refrain from a time period. Most women do. Most men, like you said, you all get over that woman by getting under another one. That's the old adage. But we need to detox. We need to detox our soulish realm from relationships that no longer serve our greater good. We need to, because those people carry, the people that we've had sex with, that we've sexually entertained, come with their own set of baggage.
No doubt.
Emotionally. mentally.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we need to declutter. We need to declutter. Yeah. And so that's what it was for me. I was coming into more of an awareness of who I was, and I wanted to please God. And I had tried it my way. And so I said, let me try God's way.
Okay.
Let me try God's way.
Lady Hope, I hope we got you for 10 more minutes at least, because I got two things I really want to get into. Can we keep you for 10 more minutes? Be good.
I think my hairstylist won't be mad if I'm running a little late.
Okay. All right. So I want to get into devil's advocate mode for a few minutes. I want to tap into that energy the fellas were had last night, and I can't say I was that much different for them from their perspective in some ways, but there is a thing about this whole, waiting for the right person and then there not being a sexual chemistry. I've actually seen documentaries and specials on that where people waited and they got with the person and they were all good. Everything was good. But the one thing that they couldn't get right, that just wasn't a natural fit, was the sexual chemistry. Now, I know you said you definitely need to have faith. I believe that. But have you seen any instances where people waited and that sexual chemistry wasn't there, and it was kind of like, maybe we should have tried this out before we went to this next step?
If I can be honest before God, the few women that I have talked to over the years that were abstinent until their honeymoon, before God, not lying, all of them told me that it was more than worth the wait.
Okay.
Now it's not a lot of them.
Yeah.
But the women that I have spoke to told me that it was more than worth the wait. And I have to believe that, because you have to think about it like this. So I'm not going to know you. You're not going to know me. We're going to have sex on our honeymoon. So now your stamina doesn't match mine. You're not okay, how can I say this to be politically correct?
Not as endowed, or
you're not well endowed like I would prefer. Maybe not need, but prefer.
Do you test that ahead of time as a strat? That's one thing I wanted to bring up. I mean, we're not trying to be vulgar audience, but we need to be real. So do you suggest in that situation, should the woman kind of do some stuff to test out what the package is? I'm just saying,
we gotta know. I mean, we're adults here. We're having an intelligent conversation.
We gotta do it.
Adults have an intelligent conversation.
I really don't. Because God is real big. God is real big on covenant. And King and I was talking about that. God is real big on covenant. And I didn't understand covenant. I didn't understand it. I thought that covenant, the world's thing is commitment. Like, I'm with you, you with me, we good. We're in a committed relationship. Mm-hmm. But when you get married, you in a covenant relationship. That's something different. So you're supposed to be in a relationship with God. It's supposed to be the center of the marriage, and then you two. So I'm not supposed to love you more than I love God, and you're not supposed to love me more than you love. You understand what I'm saying? It's supposed to be vice versa, with God at the center. That's the covenant.
Okay.
So for me to not know my husband until our honeymoon, and I find out he is
under-endowed, for example.
Not compatible. Incompatible.
God doesn't.
There you go, Stu. Incompatible. Unacceptable.
God doesn't. He doesn't.
God don't play like that. God don't
he
play
don't play like that. He don't play like that. He don't play like that.
Okay. Ladies, I have a special. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Men are so quick to say that. Let me ask you this. I'm gonna see, how can I pose the question? Think about you two respect. Think about the best sex you've ever had. Get her name in your mind.
Got it.
Why would I want to do that? I don't know if I even want to do that.
But
go ahead.
You didn't marry her.
I got it.
Easy for me. I got it. Yep.
It better be easy for you.
No doubt.
You didn't
but actually, Stu, is for real though. So yeah.
Okay.
But did you understand what I'm saying? It might not have led to marriage.
So that's my point.
It can't just be the end all be all of a relationship, whether you're married or not married.
Yes, I agree with that. See, this is what I was going to say. This is going to sound crazy. Me and Stu talked about this. I have a special gift, Lady Hope. I have the ability to deal with a woman and know if it's going to be good sexually before we even touch each other. I have that gift. And it's other men out there that have that gift, and it's women out there too. It's just like they just know. They just have
like you in the truck, in the truck, Lady Hope.
Okay.
So
when you put it like that, okay.
Yeah. So by the time it actually happens, I'm like, yeah, I already knew that. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm different because Stu said he don't have that. For example,
I don't have that. Yeah.
He don't have that. So my thing is got to be some kind of cheat code. I know we got to trust in God, but then we got people watching that don't believe in God. You know what I mean? So like, what's the strategy for them? They don't believe in God in the way that, we might believe in or whatever, but they don't have that.
And I think it's also important. We're talking about two different things here because one, we're talking about abstinence before marriage when some people ain't thinking about marriage either. So that's another dynamic as well.
That's another episode.
That's another episode, right? Just being abstinent, being celibate and doing all of this prior to marriage, if marriage is your goal. And sometimes I've even heard of people who are married or in committed relationships that need to practice abstinence in their relationship in order to kind of get things back on track, like you were saying earlier, E-Money, So I think that's another conversation, maybe for another day as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do want to. We got to move on because I know we're limited on time. But it's just like I would have liked for us to come up with a way to have some kind of strategy to protect that risk, especially if you're not a God-fearing person. How do you check the package if you're a woman? If you're a guy, how do you know that there's the thing that you like when it's going down? Like, how do you check that without being physical? Is there a way to do that? Do you meditate? Like, what can you do if you don't have?
I don't know because for a woman, if I was a woman that had that gift to know if a man was well endowed, honey, go throw on them gray jogging pants, take the garbage out. I mean,
that's a strategy. That's a strategy.
But my thing is, so what if he's well endowed and his stamina, he doesn't have a high sex drive?
Yeah.
Or he's well endowed, has a great sex drive, and doesn't know how to perform.
That's a good point. Right.
So, I mean, I hear the gift that you have and women have, but if God is gonna hide you, you're not gonna know. It's a surprise. It's a wonderful surprise. I believe when you're trying to do it God's way, because He's our Father. So if He's like my daughter or my son, really, really trusted me all the way, I'm a surprise her. Because God is love. God is love. And so it's a surprise. It's a surprise. It is the ultimate surprise from God on your honeymoon. It's a beautiful surprise.
Okay.
Because God is not crazy. He knows how important sex is in a marriage. But it's not enough to keep a marriage. Because I have clients that have been that are divorced and the sex was amazing. But like I said, what are we going to do the other 23 hours out the day?
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
When we get up out the bedroom. Mm-hmm. It's the same way when you're in a committed relationship. Mm-hmm. I have a lot of people say sex is not our problem. Mm-hmm. But we're unequally yoked in other areas. Her parenting is, I don't whoop my kids and my mama beat us,
right. That's something
my mama did time out. My mama whooped me, or
values. Yeah.
Values. So it's bigger than just not being equally yoked sexually. It's equally yoked across the board. And if he's a believer, she is deeper than that. It's mindset also.
Okay.
Mm.
Drop them jewels, Lady Hope. Drop them jewels. It's bigger than that. So that's a great point, though. Like, hey, it is actually could be bigger than that. Consider other factors. Now, I know you got to go, but we got to get into one last thing, and that is, are you all familiar with something called incel culture?
Never heard of it.
INCEL culture.
Never heard of it.
And then there's a black incel culture. So I never heard of this. Our researchers found this. It says it's they have perceived obstacles and thus the inability to have sexual contact with women. So these are men. So they're like there's all these obstacles, and they're not able to have sexual contact with women, even though they have a deep want for it. And they said the origins of incel culture is heavily aligned with the subsection of the alternative right or the white nationalist movement. And like the alternate right nationalist movement, the incel community believes they are superior to others due to their white, heterosexual, cisgender male identity. So there's a lot here, but basically these people want to have sex with women, but they feel like there's these obstacles where they can't do it. And it's a whole movement of incel people. And a lot of people feel like the incel people feel like they're better than women. So it's like they're saying they want to be with a woman, but they also feel like they're better, and so they're not having sex. Black incel culture. So I wanted to throw that out there. I never heard of it. Any thoughts on that? I know that's a lot to kind of process, but any thoughts on that?
You want to go first, King? I'm gonna let you go first.
He's trying
to. Because I mean, my focus right now is putting God at the center of everything that I do. So if it's not that, then it's hard for me to receive.
Okay.
So it's like I can't even honor it. You know what I mean? It's like first of all, I don't know enough about it, but God ain't
that's
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. That's cool.
But thank you for putting me on. I've been exposed.
I've never heard of it either.
Never heard of it. I'll check it out.
All right. When the episode when this comes out, clap back in the comments or let us know if you've heard of this. And then the very last point is there's a Facebook page, or it used to be called blackcelibacy.com. Okay. I thought that was cool. I hope it's still up, but it's just a whole community of people who are celibate or striving to be celibate. They got a network and conversations happening. So check that out if you're out there, blackcelibacy.com. Lady Hope, we know you got to go. Are there any final thoughts that you want to give us on this topic?
What will my final thoughts be? God. For those that are believers, we have to put him back in his rightful place, which is the head of our life. And when we do that, everything will flow the way it's supposed to flow. Our relationships, men and women, mothers and daughters. I mean, everything will flow. As far as the abstinent thing, is it easy? No. Is it worth it? Yes, because we have to do. You get your oil changed in your car. You know what I'm saying? We have to make it make sense. We get our oil changed in our car. We declutter the house. We do spring cleaning. We do all of those things for every other part of our life except our body and our soul. And we need to do that. If you keep attracting the same type of brother, you need to check you. You keep attracting the same type of woman, different woman, same spirit, same energy. It's you. And you said it best. When you did it, when you readjusted your thinking, your mindset, everything, the battlefield, Joyce Meyer said it first. The battlefield is in the mind. And when you change your mindset about sex being casual, everything changes because it's not casual. It was never created to be casual. It is a very spiritual act, more than a natural act. And a lot of times the consequences are more spiritual than they are natural. And the last thing I'm gonna say is what God gave me earlier, which is what did I say? The STD. A soul tie left unchecked is equal to a STD. It's permanent. It can be permanent.
I love that. I love it. Queen, thank you for coming on today. Stu did a great job of connecting with you. I knew you were going to be strong, but you are a very beautiful woman, very elegant. You are an entrepreneur, which we love entrepreneurs. And you really gave, people listen to this show all over the globe at this point. So I really feel like we gave people some solid things to think about, some strategies and some real experiences. We don't have an agenda. We're just trying to have that conversation, and you did that perfectly today. Thank you.
Oh, praise God. Thank you.
This is a great segment of life game.
Game to live your life. So, Lady Hope, we know you got to go. We hope we can get you back for season 6. We're going to probably get into this in another segment or another lane. But we know you got to go. So thank you, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you so much. Talk to you soon. Peace, Queen.
Okay.
All right.
Peace.
All right.
Wow.
Great conversation. I learned a lot. I got a lot to think about, Stu.
Yeah, man. But let me just, before we dissect that, bro.
Come on, man.
Again.
All right.
I like the that's not a fedora. What is that called? What is this? It's not a hat.
You know what, man? I think they call these racing hats or something. The Kango
racing hats.
I don't know what the
classic.
We used to call them, and this is funny, man. When we were younger, we used to rock these. We used to call them old man hats.
Old man hats. No,
well, now I am an old man, so it's fitting to now wear it. So yeah, I got my black old man hat on.
And you got the black T-shirt with the gray with the black and white sports jacket. Always fresh to death. Always. E-Money's wardrobe spotlight.
Thank you, brother.
Classic with the drip, man.
As I've said, my daughter told me drip or drown.
Drip or drown.
Wow. Now, I always have to talk about what you got going on because we try to match each other's swag. So you got a joint to say, what does that say? Security?
Insecurity.
Oh, wow.
Insecurity.
I love that, man. I love that. Insecurity. That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Shout out to H2O. Shout out to H2O for the insecurity line.
I would love
H2O has he's an artist that's on Pool. He's an artist, and he has publicly dealt with his own insecurities, his own insecurity issues, and he came up with a line to address it publicly. I am what insecurity looks like. We all deal with our own insecurities.
All of us, in some manner.
So
yes,
I'm rocking that today.
What a statement! What a statement! All right, so Big Stu coming through. So Big Stu, I just want to, before we go into our tales from the startup, I wanted to get your final thoughts on the celibacy abstinence conversation.
Yeah.
What do you think?
My takeaway is we got to put more attention on it. As I'm raising my son, I don't want him to be out here. I don't want to send him out here in the world just trying to measure his manhood by how many women he can have sex with. It is not something that you should be taking lightly, especially now that I'm more familiar with soul ties and the importance of choosing wisely. And I think you should wait as long as you absolutely possibly can. And you should not have dozens of sexual partners. I fell into that because that's what my environment said. But I wish that I had some older guys giving me some life game about the importance of it and what it really is and the implications behind it. So I'm enlightened, and it's taken me this long to get here, but I'm hoping that we can pass some of this life game on to some young men, specifically young men. I think you should definitely continue to practice. If you've had sex and you're young and you're not married, I think you should consider abstinence for at least a season. I like that. Or whatever period of time. I don't have an opinion about celibacy. And if you're a virgin, that's nothing to be ashamed about. I think there's some power and strength in that. But I think sex should not be casual, and it should not be a light conversation. What are your thoughts, E?
Yeah, I like all of that, bro. I mean, my thoughts are, I guess what I keep thinking is, when I was out there doing my thing, I wasn't doing it from a position of feeling like I had to prove myself. I just really love Black women. And, it's cool to say that now. I love Black women and all that. But I just had this natural urge that always drew me towards dealing with Black women. Like the more I could deal with, the better. I kind of felt at the time, not from like being a pimp or anything, but like even in light conversation, I just like being around Black women and having conversations. I love all types of women, but it's just something special about Black women. So when I had to abstain, or I chose to abstain, you would think that it would have had an adverse effect, but I feel like my fondness for Black women and women in general grew stronger because I was actually able to observe them better and observe myself. And you can't observe yourself if you're constantly doing stuff. So that's kind of my takeaway from it. And I'm glad I did that. To this day, it was one of the pivotal moments in my life. So if you out there, brothers, there's nothing wrong with this. You're going to become more of a man on the other side, believe it or not. And it could actually change your life. All right, so we got a segment that we started doing recently. So you all know we would do the characters from corporate, but we're really big into entrepreneurship. So we felt like we needed to do something also that had to do with that. We came up with Tales from the Startup. Tales from the Startup is just these real stories about things that happened when you started your company or you're thinking about starting them. Same as we always say, please hit us up with your story. You don't need to give your name, anything specific. Just tell us the gist of your story. Me and Stu will talk about it on the air and give up a little bit of life game. So here's the one from this week, Stu.
Okay.
It says, hey, I'm checking in from the West Coast. I don't want to say the city. Cool. Like we said, that's fine. Thanks for doing this segment. I have some stuff to get off my chest. I am a Black male Gen Xer, age 44. My girlfriend and I started a not-for-profit 2 years ago. We started from scratch, built everything from the ground up. Our organization has to do with introducing yoga and other self-care practices to at-risk youth. Now, that's what's up. I love that. So the organization, he says, is doing really well now. We have funders, donors, and a lot of support, which is great. We put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this thing, so it's good to see it paying off and our mission being accomplished. But here's the thing, Stu. He says, my girlfriend and I are breaking up. And he says, we literally grew apart from building this organization. One too many arguments. We both found some love in other places, etc., etc. So my question to you and Stu is, now that we're going our separate ways, she's basically telling me that the organization is hers to control, and I can kick rocks. She told you to kick rocks. All right. Should I fight for what I helped to start up and build, or just keep it moving? Our board of directors support would be about 50-50 split either way, if that helps.
Wow.
It's a lot. So they started a not-for-profit couple, they were doing their thing. The organization got really successful, girlfriend, boyfriend, yoga, self-care practices for at-risk youth. Now, one too many arguments. He said they're going to go their separate ways. He's basically saying, yo, should I just keep it moving, or should I fight for what I helped to build? Big Stu, what are your thoughts?
Well, fighting for it it's going to tear the board up. If you're getting into this fight with your ex about the control of this nonprofit, it's going to split the board. It's going to split the integrity of the organization. My mature self is like, bro, take it on the chin, let it go. To me, it's always easier to let it go. Just let it go, man. Let it go. But I understand you built something. It's your baby, But I just think in this case, fighting for control is going to tear the organization up. And unless if you own that, you trying to tear it up fight for it. But if you're trying to really let it thrive, let her have control of it and support when asked and where needed in the future. And that's a very, very mature statement. And I'm sure it's probably easy for me to say it, easier said than done.
Okay.
So,
have you ever
let
been
it go, give it to her? Yeah. Have I? No, thank God. I have not. So again, that's why I know it's easy for me to say that. Probably easier said than done. What about you, man? Because, even right now, as he was reading, I was thinking about you and your wife. You all have business together. So what does that look like? I mean, what do you think about this tale from the startup?
Yeah, I think this is a real thing. I think it's something that we don't talk about in culture enough. We always talk about start your business, do your own thing and all that. But some of these other things that come up, I think we need to have a little more guidance for people when they come up. So I have been in a situation in the past, and I decided to do what Big Stu said, which was kind of just keep it moving and just sort of be okay with the fact that I did have a hand in it, but I don't want to disrupt the organization. I'm not saying that that's what anybody should do. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying that that's what I did. And it's kind of like that reason, what they call it, people are in your life for a reason.
Seasons and reasons. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So this organization could have been in your life for a reason and a season. And maybe because when I did that, when I walked away, it actually opened up at least 10 other doors. Mm-hmm. So just keep look at it as like a resume builder, credibility establisher. And my advice would be to think about keeping it moving.
And I also think, it's there's a sense of confidence and there's a sense of swag in being like letting it go. It's like they'll never be able to forget you, even if they try. You're one of the founding members of this nonprofit. So rest on that. You good. You did that. It's in your, like he said, it's in your resume. You good. Let it go.
Yeah. And people will try to write you out of the script sometimes. I've been in that situation where you help found something and then your name is never mentioned. But the great thing about things these days is that you can put stuff on your social media. You can still let people know you had involvement without disrupting anything.
Absolutely.
So tell your story.
Take the high road, brother. Tales from the startup. Tell brother to take the high road on this edition of Tales from the Startup.
Yeah, Tales from the Startup. So I like these, man. We might do characters from corporate next time, but we got to definitely mix in the entrepreneurship. Please send us your stories. The crazier, the better. People need to hear these things. It's great to be an entrepreneur, but it's a lifestyle that has many, many challenges, as Big Stu can tell you, as well as myself. Yeah. All right, so we got the Pool Artist of the Week.
Yeah, man. A new artist, a young cat. The name of the group or the artist is Z-ish. Let's just get into it, man. I got it all teed up.
All right.
I think I do. Yep. Here we go. Let's go. The name of this song is Colorblind.
Colorblind, musicspool.com.
To the group, yeah, I don't really go nowhere. I don't really know where ambition's gonna go, yeah. I don't really go nowhere. I don't really move to the group, yeah. I don't really go nowhere. I don't really know where ambition's gonna go, yeah.
I'm constantly writing, when I'm walking, I'm typing. Bomb is a fucking bomb, and I'm a flight risk, indecisive, sightless. I'm a dice and dice it. I'm a heathen, heartless, and I'm feeling Arctic. Ice is a vice, and I'm trying to pay the price. And a nigga want a life where he's living off the hype, but I got that anxiety, got me in a plight. Wanna live on every screen, and on baby, I'm a try nigga. Hey, try nigga, Ay, ay, try nigga. Ay, try nigga. Try nigga. Try nigga. Ay.
All right. They have to catch the rest of that on musicspool.com.
Brother has an interesting flow for sure.
Young cats, man. The young cats.
Yeah.
So
it's more than one person.
Well, I'm talking about these young artists, But this person, has a different flow, and all the topics. If you get a chance, check it out. The song titles were very interesting to me and telling of today's time. He has a song on there called Drugs. He has a song on there called Bored. He has a song on there called Colorblind, which is what we just heard. And a couple of other songs on there that kind of deal with social and emotional issues. Okay. So I thought it was very telling. I like this young artist. I've never met them. I don't know them. I found them on musicspool.com, and I like their music.
Yeah, that was different for sure. Musicspool.com is cool because it's about emerging artists, and they definitely have a lot of artists on there. Am I possibly sitting with one of the founders of musicspool.com is the question at hand. I believe I am, but could you please clarify, sir?
I am one of the founders of musicspool.com. But E-Money, let me also add, you are coming on board.
Wow.
To help take Musicspool to the next level.
No, that's
so
exciting.
We are here. This is a life process. This is here. Musicspool.com ain't going nowhere. It's not a fad.
Not a fad. It's real.
Not a fad. It's real. It's here to stay. And check it out.
Yeah.
Join in. Dive in, as we say.
Dive in. I can't wait to dive in a little bit further and assist. So yeah, man, I'm looking forward to that. This has been a beautiful episode. We are in season 5. We're doing our thing. Not sure what the next joint is going to be, but it's going to be something compelling. We got a whole season lined up. So thank you all for tuning in. I think we got some new viewers this on this episode. So thank you for that. And keep rocking out with us. MoneySexGenX podcast.com is the website. We're on Instagram, Facebook. We're building our YouTube channel. And we would love for you to listen to our audio if you don't have or the ability to listen to watch videos at work or whatever. You can listen to the audio in your headphones. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Help get the show to the other people who might want to hear this conversation.
Yeah, man. This was a good one today. Good one. I like it. It was worth it. And looking forward to the next one.
No doubt, no doubt. So we out.
Until next time.
Peace.
Peace.